Wide Web, this is Jesse. Today I'm going to be giving a review of what it was like to be homeschooled. I was homeschooled. Fun fact, my wife was also homeschooled. We did not know each other when we were in high school years, but we met each other up here in school, and the rest is history. So just the reason why I'm giving you a review of what it was like being homeschooled, not enough publicity of homeschoolers. Homeschoolers are seen as really weird. And obviously, I can't necessarily dispel all of that because homeschoolers can be weird. Let's face it, parents who pull their kids out of school are different. Their motives vary from all over the spectrum, so it could be people don't like the school system, the specific school system, they had a bad encounter with the bureaucracy, or feel like they do better education. But it happens, you know. People are weird. There are public school kids I've met that are super weird. Weirdness it's relative, honestly. I was in public school for kindergarten, first grade. Actually, I loved it. I was super social. I was one of the popular kids. Eventually, my parents pulled me out, feeling that they could have done a better education. Second off, I was kind of estranging my brother. They feel like the family ties were being strained because of the relationships I had at school that really contributed to them initially pulling me out. And later on, they came out with different reasons why they were homeschooling me as well. I actually did not want to leave public school. I was super popular, I guess. It was not something I was interested in. Because I was afraid of, not being able to socialize and whatnot. Yeah, I was homeschooled for, second grade on. My wife was homeschooled everywhere except for sixth grade. She went to public school for sixth grade, and she had a terrible experience, I'll tell you what. But homeschooling can be done wrong. It can also be done right, though. Just because you run into one weird homeschooler or several weird homeschool families doesn't mean it can't be done right. It's like making cookies. You can make cookies wrong, but you can also make cookies right. Okay. So first off, my parents' philosophy when homeschooling us is they would prefer us to be good people and have strong family ties than to be super smart. So not that we put education on the back burner, but my parents really focused on being good people, being honest, and having values that would help us throughout life. They felt like the education is secondary to being good. I agree with it, honestly, because we're going to homeschool our son. One of the things that when you think of it as a homeschool is that they don't get any socialization. And I think that's completely experience-based. My wife, she was the one who was the social butterfly in her friends. She knew a lot more people than her public school friends. That's because she got out a lot. Me personally, most of my socialization was done through my church, and that's where my best friends were from. And honestly, and I met people that were of other faiths through the homeschool co-op, and that was my social life. And I'm gonna be honest, it can be lonely if you do it wrong. But it can be done right, and you can get out. I got out. I pursued a lot of my interests. I loved history. I loved writing. I've been working on a novel for 12 years now. That's a long time, and that's what I pursued, and it was fun for me. And I really loved the study. Me and my brother, we were our best friends. We did everything together. We made forts. We played games. We wrestled around the house. It was a good experience. Now, my experience isn't necessarily typical. Our family didn't have a ton of money, so we weren't able to get out and to do a ton of sports or anything. I really wanted to do soccer. We didn't have enough money for soccer. I don't think I ever missed a Wednesday youth group. Not on purpose, anyway. I also went to seminary. It's a religious class for members of my church. Now, I do want to talk about what it was like day to day. So I get up. Sometimes we would wear pajamas. That is a myth that is kind of true. We'd get up at about 8 o'clock and we would do schoolwork until about 12. When I was older, though, when I was in teenage years, I actually did a little bit longer because I was focused more on the academia. Some people worry that homeschoolers aren't going to mix well in college. I've been in college for almost 3 years now. I have a decent GPA. I'm not, I mean, like it's not 4.0, but I mean it's up there. It's close enough for me to get scholarships. My wife graduated a few months ago. I mean, we did well, and it certainly can be done. Now, it does take some discipline. There's the term unschooling, and unschooling is where parents don't do anything. They just kind of let their kids do whatever, and they call it homeschooling. It kind of gives a bad rap for homeschoolers because homeschooling is not doing nothing. Do math, we do English, we do a lot of basic stuff. We do extracurricular activities as like field trips and English, and I mean English is one of the basics, but like creative writing for me. Yeah, it can be done wrong, and it can also be done right. The point is that homeschoolers can mix well in with the world. I got all my experience from going on a mission in North Carolina and Virginia. When you say that you're a homeschooler, people get this mindset about you. They're like, oh, homeschooled. Oh, so that's why. And that was so annoying. So what I did on my mission, I played a game to see how long it took my companion to figure out that I was homeschooled. And sometimes it went on months. It was funny. One of my companions, he was looking over my shoulder. I was on the computer. I was like writing a bio by myself. And he's like, "What? You are homeschooled?" And I was, it was super funny. Homeschoolers do need to step it up as far as like breaking that stereotype. Because when people think homeschool, they're really weirded out. It's a really foreign concept. They think that we have unibrows and that we only play Dungeons and Dragons. And okay, some of that's true. We're nerds sometimes. Look, I'm a huge nerd. But there's public school nerds. Okay, don't don't judge me because I can pursue my passions more than you. Homeschooling was overall a great experience. I'm stronger with my family because if I had stayed in public school, I would have estranged my brother. I would have thought he was uncool and didn't want to talk. I wouldn't want to talk with him. We wouldn't have the friendship we have. So all in all, there is a right way to do it, a wrong way to do it, and I encourage you to find those. If you're interested in homeschooling, find those families that do it right, where the kids are well behaved and they do have a schedule that they keep to. Sometimes you can find a good co-op group. Another concern is that homeschoolers don't get enough socialization. But is it more important that your kids fit in, or that they're good people? I hear so many people don't hide it from school. It's like, oh, my school is terrible. I learned all these bad things at school. Why do you go then? Why? Like, you can do it a different way. Isn't it more important for you to be good and to not have those things in your mind than to fit in? And you can fit in. Honestly, you'll be that unique person. It's more important for somebody to be good than somebody to be smart or to fit in. I don't know why people put so much weight on being popular and being smart. Okay, smart is important. Don't get me wrong. I think smart people are highly needed. Everybody was super geniuses in the world, but they were bad people. That's Hunger Games, people. That's Hunger Games. Where people are smart and you're using all this technology, but using for bad reasons. And you see that throughout history. Adolf Hitler is a smart guy, and look what he did. Now, that's an extreme example. Yeah, seriously, if you have all brains and no heart and no moral compass, what's the point? It's not a hidden fact. They're kids leading kids. It's blind leading the blind. Sometimes the teachers can influence the kids in good ways, but there's not enough teachers to go around. Kids need one-on-one time with the parents. We're estranging our kids from the parents when you send your kids to school. You're sending them away for 6 hours a day or more. There was a statistics I saw that said by the age of 6, parents no longer have the strongest influence over their kids. Now what happens at age 6? You're sending your kids to kindergarten. That's why. That's what I think why. Because you're sending your kids off and they're being influenced by the world more than they are you. And 6 is a very impressionable age. Heck, we are impressionable all the way up to age 19 or more, Why are you sending your kids to a place that you know they're going to pick up bad things? You can't walk through mud and not get dirty. Anyway, sorry, little rant. But I think that homeschooling is a good option for those people who are it's available to them. Now, I just don't know. Sometimes like single parent households. That's I can't imagine that. That's extremely hard. Kudos to those people who do it. And homeschooling is not going to be an option for everyone. And I think it's more of an option than people think it is. It can be done wrong. It can be done right. You give it a chance if you're thinking about it. I encourage it. Now sometimes there's a process: forming, storming, norming, performing. When you initially start homeschooling, it's exciting, it's fun, it's the forming stage. Then there's a storming where you start hating your kids, and or like the kids are fighting, and you have to get through that because yeah, we fight, but then you get used to it. You don't get used to the fighting. You get used to each other, and you become friends, and then you start like really starting to get things together after that. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.